For more, let's bring in Kana Whitworth in Portland and Alex Perez in Kenosha. Alex, Democrats in Wisconsin are still urging the president to cancel his trip. They're warning that he's just fanning the flames by coming. What do you believe the reaction may be to this visit?
Yeah, Ariel, the governor here and Democrats across the state have said they just don't believe right now is the right time for the president to visit. They insist that this community here is still healing, and they worry that his visit is just going to create more divisiveness here. And we expect to see some expressions of how divided people are as the president makes his way here later today. There sort of seem to be two camps to all of this: those who wholeheartedly support the police department and law enforcement, and those who are calling for change and complete reform when it comes to law enforcement. The president has said he's coming here to visit and support law enforcement. So, as you might imagine, there are people that, because of that, are feeling very strongly on either issue when it comes to this. And so we expect to see some of that when the president comes here later today. Ariel?
Certainly a polarizing visit. Alex, what's the latest on the investigation into Kyle Rittenhouse and the police shooting of Jacob Blake?
Yeah, Ariel, it seems a lot of things are just really kind of locked in place right now. As far as Kyle Rittenhouse, well, his hearing was extended, postponed until September 25th, so there really won't be any movement there until that time. His attorneys have said that they expect to make this a case of self-defense. Now, when it comes to Jacob Blake, well, the State Department of Justice right now is investigating that case. The shooting happened on August 23rd. They have about 30 days to present their findings to the local prosecutor here. At this point, it's really unclear what kind of evidence they've uncovered or where things stand. And also separately, there's a federal civil rights violation investigation that the Federal Department of Justice is handling. So all three of these investigations happening at once. And right now, we really don't know when we can expect to get some answers from any of those.
We know
Ariel?
You're following them very closely, Alex. And hundreds of people took to the streets there in Portland, Kana, overnight. You've been there. It's been about 100 days now. You even had a pretty close encounter with some of these protests over the weekend. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, Ariel, so we were out there Sunday night at a protest outside of the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. So it wasn't in downtown Portland where the protest had been taking place here, as you mentioned, for nearly 100 days. It was an aggressive situation. My cameraman was really attacked. They put their hands on my producer. They put flashlights right in my eye. They did not want us there. It was violent. And this was a protest put on by the Pacific Northwest Youth Liberation Front. And that same group took to the streets again last night. They marched to what they believe is the mayor, Ted Wheeler's home. He lives in a building in the Pearl District here in Portland. And they were setting fires. They were breaking windows. The police department said that they actually pulled furniture out of a store and lit it on fire, shooting fireworks inside buildings. Eventually, they deemed it a riot. And so now we're talking about 19 arrests last night, 29 arrests the night before, and also the last 2 nights is the first time in a long time that we haven't seen any of that CS gas deployed. But certainly, they're taking to the streets night after night here in Portland, Ariel.
Yeah, Kana, labeling that sort of as, in a cynical way, as Ted Wheeler's birthday celebration. Clearly not a celebration any officials are wanting there. But do you see that there is any possibility that there could be a unified front there in Portland, Kana? It seems like there's a divergence of so many messages there. It's hard to keep track of what the protesters are really wanting.
I mean, you're absolutely right when you say that. When we were out here a month ago, there was a clear Black Lives Matter movement. There were people in the streets talking about racial injustice and police reform and how to move forward. I mean, at one point, protesters were sitting in the street listening to people talk. And it's very different now. Now we're seeing a much smaller group of people. Again, it's the Pacific Northwest Youth Liberation Front, and they seem to be inciting violence. And right now, the governor is saying that she wants to create a community forum where people can sit and community leaders can come forward, protest leaders can come forward and speak with the mayor about how they can really move forward here. But until those conversations start to happen, people are still taking to the streets. And I want to mention that they do anticipate another large rally on Saturday. Again, you may see those pro-Trump protesters coming into town in their trucks. They do expect that again Saturday.
Portland has been a flashpoint for so long now. And Alex, I want to throw the same kind of question to you. Do you think things could calm down there in Kenosha anytime soon? What do you think it would take?
You know, Ariel, it's really hard to imagine a situation, a scenario right now where things would calm down. It's just that both sides, as I mentioned, both sides of the issues here just feel very adamantly about what they are trying to get accomplished, about the changes they want to see. And there seems to be very little middle ground. And so those voices are growing louder, but it seems right now that they're not really listening to each other. And so imagining a scenario where there's going to be sort of a quiet conversation where the messages are heard, it just seems like that's not necessarily going to happen anytime soon right now, Ariel.
And we've even seen Jacob Blake's own family calling for calm instead of chaos. Alex Perez and Kana Whitworth, thank you so much for your diligent coverage. Stay safe out there.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.